How is everyone doing tonight? Happy Thursday. I feel like I almost went live after forgetting to click the button again, but I did remember this time. My OBS does not have me logged in to YouTube. It's really annoying when it does that. I do have the highlight chat ready to go. I went live at 9:00. I think by the time the Fisherman Countdown ended, it was 9:01. But I was live at 9:00. That's on time to me. Grimer says, nope, never enough. And that is with respect to the title. So in the title, I asked a question. Live Pokemon investing market Q&A, Sword Shield to the moon. Again, I guess I asked two different questions that were kind of conflicting. I said Sword and Shield to the moon again, question mark, which I think Grimer would answer yes to that. And then in the thumbnail, I asked the question of, can Pokemon ever print enough? So I think he would say no, never enough to that. Yeah, it is Wednesday. The pastor's late to his sermon. As Alex Hormozy once said, this is not a sermon. This is not gospel. This is a documentary. This is one guy giving his best answers, giving his best shot at the Pokemon market. So yeah, as always, I'm trying to find my Google password for this account. Ugh. I need to log into my other Google to get the password for this account. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, I need to make sure I don't accidentally put my Google password in chat. If anyone has any questions, feel free to leave them in chat. It is 9 p.m. Eastern as I go live. I plan on being live for about the next 2 hours. So yeah, everything is fair game. Feel free to hit me with your questions and I will answer them to the best of my ability. It will not be gospel. It will not be financial advice. It'll just be my best shot at answering those questions. I think we're logged in. I think I will have chat. Oh, I need to check my device and get logged in. This is indeed me, Google. Yes, allow me in. Did anyone, before we get to the serious questions, if anyone follows me on Instagram, I posted these bad boys on there. I don't want to sign in faster. I just want to sign in. There we go. My wife and my sister-in-law went shopping recently and they found some pirate's booty. I don't want to do any of this stuff. I just want my YouTube live chat. It's not showing me the live chat. I did all that and it's still not showing me the live chat inside of OBS. But yeah, Pirate's Booty has some collaboration with Pokemon. You've had Oreo before, you've had various cereals, you've had gummy snacks, all different kinds of things. Pokemon is finding its way everywhere in the grocery store. Not just in the toy aisle at Walmart, but it is everywhere. It is ubiquitous. Me wondering where Catch 'em All Collectibles is at. It was really nice to meet you and Nick and some of the other gang at Charlotte. Missed some people, but maybe next year. Yeah, very nice to meet you, Zard Lurking. I didn't put it in my title. I didn't put it in my thumbnail. But this past weekend was Charlotte Collecticon. So if anyone has any questions, comments, concerns about Charlotte Collecticon, feel free to ask. Feel free to hit me with them, and we'll talk about it. I will probably do my full-fledged Charlotte Collecticon recap on Monday. I don't take a ton of pictures, but I always try to take some. So I will be talking about the convention itself. I will talk about how I had no ability to source anything. I did go with some cash. I tried spending some cash, and no one wanted it because they were all ridiculously mispriced, in my opinion, at least what I was after. I might have opened the new Metazoo set, which was really exciting for me. So I'll talk about that in my video on Monday. I'll talk about the police showing up to one of the establishments that I was at late at night, and I'll talk about why that happened, what was going on with that. That was pretty wild. It was a super fun weekend. It was an S tier Collecticon. I think every Collecticon I've been to has been at least A tier, and the more people that I meet, the more people that I see that I've known for a while, the better it is. And this was one of the most like star-studded casts of any Collecticon that I've been to. It was wild how many people got to meet, as Zard Lurking says, got to meet Zard Lurking at the show. Got to meet tons of other people for the first time and got to see a lot of old friends for the 5th, 10th, 20th time, which is always great. And we are live. Grab me by the sword and shields. Cash Grabber Nation. Is 151 still getting reprinted? So the last time I got hit by a botter saying, hey, sir, would you like to buy 10,000, 15,000 packs of 151? It's been a solid month, I would say. I want to say the last time 151 was getting reprinted that I'm aware of was a Target booster bundle drop or Sam's Club poster collection drop, and they were dropping hard. They were dropping them very hard. If they're actively going on right now, maybe someone in some of the restock discords would be able to answer it better than me. I don't play that game. I just buy from the botters. I buy from the scalpers. So yeah, I don't have any firsthand knowledge on that, unfortunately. But as far as I know, up till very recently, 151 has still been getting printed massively, very, very extensively. JG Collects says, hey, yo, to curve demand, do you think it would be better to release less sets throughout the year or release a couple of mid sets like Battle Styles? I don't think Pokemon has ever or will ever intentionally make like a mid set. I think Pokemon is like trying all the time. Is Pokemon like there's a certain list of things in their back pocket that they always have that would be like guaranteed bangers. And I think Pokemon doesn't try to do like the best set of all, well, the best set of all time every time, but I think they try to do really good sets. I think even the sets that get trashed on us by us a little bit, I think a lot of those they're putting their best effort into it. But they do have 1,025 creatures they have to share the love with. They can't just do, sorry Java, they can't just do Charizard every set. They can't just do Gengar, Mew. They can't do those S tier Pokemon every single set. They do have to spread the love. So it's not necessarily them trying to make a mid set. It's just they know they need to like, hey guys, we can't let everyone forget about every other Pokemon that exists. But I think both of those things, if Pokemon wanted to, they could release a year of mid sets intentionally. I don't think they will, but they could. Pokemon could curb demand heavily. If every set coming out is rough, if every set coming out is mid, if they tell Charizard, hey, you're taking a 2-year sabbatical. Charizard, Mew, Mewtwo, the legendary birds, Lugia, Ho-Oh, Tyranitar, if they tell the top 30 Pokemon, you guys are on a 2-year sabbatical, Pokemon could get things under control. They're not going to do that. They do not want to do that. But similar thing. If they, instead of releasing 6 sets in a year, like they've done the last couple of years, last several years probably, if they did 2 main sets and 2 specialty sets, or 4 main sets and no specialty sets, they would be more likely to get caught up. But I don't think they're going to do that either. I don't think they're going to intentionally throw money away to get caught up. It's a problem, but it's not that big of a problem. It's definitely not good. It would be better if things were able to get to the end consumer more freely. But they're not going to take that drastic of measures to purposely self-sabotage. The last sword shield that I picked up. Packs. So I've definitely been buying packs. I just bought a bunch of Fusion Strike recently. I bought a bunch of Evolving Skies recently. They're both on my hot buy list. While I'm talking about my hot buy list, I might as well show it. I think I have it updated here. Yes, so this is my hot buy list. If you're interested in selling packs to me, I buy packs. I will pay goods and services up front. I've been buying hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of product a week, not a month, a week for the last year plus since I've been doing, well, almost a year plus since I've been doing the live stream. So I will either do goods and services up front, or I will do friends and family, ACH, Zelle on the back end. If you ship to me, say, hey Dan, I've got 1,000 packs of Fusion, and you're paying 11, so that's $11,000. I have insurance, business insurance, that I will be able to fully insure that package. You hit me with the tracking, you add signature to the shipment, and it will be fully insured on its way to me, to PK, to Ponga, to wherever I have you send it. I have a few locations that I have people send packs. Most of them are probably to PK. He streams the most. And then next most is probably to me. And then Ponga's right there too. I have a lot of people ship direct to one of the 2 streamers. And there will be, later this month, in person in Charlotte, I might have been locking down the plans with some of the next streamers. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for late August. There will be Another face coming, I believe 2 weeks from tonight, actually. Maybe I'll be live. I'll have to try to coordinate that. I'll definitely talk about it in a video before he goes live. And maybe I'll talk about it in my live stream before he goes live too. But yeah, so loose packs, which maybe you weren't asking, L-Dubs. I forget if it was a week or 2 weeks ago now, I bought 2 big collections that amounted to like $60,000, $60,000 between the 2 of them. And I want to say there was a little bit of Silver Tempest and there was a little bit of Astral, maybe. Not any fusion, not any evolving, but there was cases of like Silver and Astral, if my memory serves me correctly. How much money would it take for you to become 5'8", 1 mil minimum ? That's an interesting question. That's actually a really interesting question that I wouldn't have expected to get. But I'm 6'4", so I would lose 8 inches in height. I think like at my height, I think at my height it's not quite a thing. But as people get really, really tall, life expectancy actually goes down quite a bit. At 6'4", I don't think my life expectancy is affected. Average life expectancy by height. I'm gonna Google it really quickly. But $1 million moves the needle. $1 million is a big number. I can't dunk anyways. I'm 6'4" and I can't dunk. So you're telling me my clothes are gonna be more like normal sized, easier to find. As long as there's no like health negative with it. I don't think my wife married me solely because I was 6'4", so I'm pretty sure she'd stay with me. $1 million would probably do it. $1 million would probably wouldn't be able to be less, but I mean I'd fight for more. I would rather get a lot more than that. But $1 million moves the needle pretty solid at this point. I don't think there's a ton of negatives to it. I guess if you're single, if you're in the dating scene, maybe there's negatives to it. But other than that, like, if you're talking 3'8", that's a whole different conversation. That's like, but yeah, 5'8", that's like slightly below average height, I think. But it's a hypothetical question that can never happen anyways. But I would be very tempted, clearly, by the way I answered it. The pics are going to wait till Monday. I don't have them, like, ready to go. I guess I could download them from my Google Photos. Oh, yeah, I forgot I was opening up life expectancy by height. But yeah, looks... I don't understand this chart that I'm looking at. It's very strange. This almost looks like... Does life expectancy go up? I don't know. Oh, no. Researchers found that at 70 years old, the taller men were expected to live approximately 2 years less than those that were shorter. If I could guarantee... Better than money. If I could sell my height for guaranteed time, if I could guarantee whatever my death date is, it's 2 years later, I would absolutely trade inches of my height. That's an easier one because 2 years of life is worth way more than $1 million. I would pay $1 million. Well, I'm not liquid for $1 million right now, so it would be a tough thing. But we talked about that before somehow. Somehow 2 weeks ago, we were talking about. I don't think anybody asked it, but I think I somehow got into that conversation of like how much money I would pay today for X amount of additional lifespan. But it looks like, yeah, the taller you are, the more likely you are to have a shorter life expectancy. Hamburgeron says, I'd lose 8 inches anywhere for $1 million. How's it going, Andrew? Very nice to see you. The new zoo set that looks like the EX Booster Box Crystal Guardians. Hey, I mean, Pokemon stole the cryptid Ho-Oh from MetaZoo, so maybe MetaZoo can borrow the color scheme. Pokemon's put out over 100 boxes. Is it possible to make a booster box that doesn't look like the color scheme of something in Pokemon? It's probably not entirely possible, but no, Torrential Tides, I really enjoyed. Shout out to PK. I do have to shout out to PK. I did not pull the Griddle Greaser Pete alt art, but PK pulled the Griddle Greaser Pete alt art and immediately handed it to me, free of charge. So I think there's some great arts in it. I'm not going to turn this into a whole MetaZoo stream, but I enjoyed it. I will be this Saturday making a MetaZoo Saturday video. I don't know when I'm going to find the time to record it, but I do need to record that. Yeah, there will be a MetaZoo Saturday, this Saturday, for anyone looking for that. I will try to open a bunch of torrential tides. I will try to have a binder set for you to look at for your viewing pleasure, if I have time to. And I'll talk about my plans for torrential tides. Sky will be streaming it. Unfortunately, not on release day, but by Tuesday. By Tuesday, he'll be streaming it. Where are we at? Zard Lurking says, yeah, the cost of sealed product and vintage packs were ridiculously priced. I was primarily looking at sealed product and especially vintage heavy packs. So I'll talk about it more in my video on Monday, but I did not have a good time finding sealed product and or vintage heavy packs. So yeah, I literally bought zero. I kind of spoilers for Monday. I bought zero at Collecticon in the few hours that I tried. Finally get to catch one live from Australia. Hope you're well. What time is it in Australia? I guess Australia is very wide. It says it's 11:16 a.m. and it's 8:16 a.m. at Christmas Island, and it's 12:16 p.m. at Kingston. So I guess that's a reasonable range. For some reason, I was thinking it would have been like 4 a.m. over there. But Shotgun Stanley says, I have a sealed collection worth 45K on collector of 45K plus. I'm asking 40K and won't take a penny less. Interested? Very likely not. I don't know what's in it, but that is 88.9%. There are not many things that I'm paying 88.9% on, but there are some. There are some. I want to say 151. 151 I'm paying like 85% on, which is pretty close to 88%. Fusion Strike, I want to say I'm over 90% on. I think I'm over 90% on Brilliant Stars on my hot buy list. But very infrequently do I get to be 89%. If I had to guess, and you could let me know, Shotgun Stanley, if it's all booster box cases, if it's all ETB cases, I might be close. Instead of 40 on 45, I might be 45,000 times 0.85 is 38,250. If it is all booster box cases and ETB cases, I might pay you $38,000, $38,250. I often pay 85% on those. But if it's random collection boxes, random tins, random like oddball things, I can't pay 85% on that, let alone 89%. But maybe someone will, very infrequently. Like, I think a lot of people run into an issue with collector. It's fun and it's great. It's like you watch your investment, you watch your collection, you watch whatever you call it, and you watch the price grow over time. But a lot of people think like, oh, it's worth 50 grand, so I'm going to get 50 grand, 95%, depending on what you're selling. But I've actually had negative interactions where someone hits me with an email saying, hey, Dan, I have this. What will you offer me? And I offer 70% because it's oddball stuff that I'm going to have to like not get 100% market on. You're going to have to break it down. There's a seal premium. Like, people need to temper their expectations for things like that. And right now, this is like a booming time. If the market turns down from here, your 70-80% might go down to 60-70%, 50-60%. Years ago, I used to buy collections for 10, 20, 30 grand at like 60% because it was all oddball stuff that I had to break down and yada, yada, yada. So my buy list, I'll actually post my buy list. My buy list is sealed cases, sealed booster cases, ETB cases, and it's loose packs mostly. I love loose packs for the live streams. I'm able to sell them at a premium. Do I grade sealed packs? I've graded hundreds of sealed packs. I've graded vintage sealed packs, light packs, base set, jungle, fossil. I've graded modern packs too. I've graded like Hidden Fates, Charizard, artwork, Generations, Celebrations, Evolutions, mostly Charizard, Pikachu artworks, things like that. It's hard. So I always say consistently inconsistent about PSA, CGC, BGS card grading. Like whatever you think a card's true grade is, don't get me started on tag. Whatever you think a card's like actual grade is, most grading card companies will be plus or minus 1 95% of the time. But that means 5% of the time they might be like way off. Maybe it's 1%, maybe it's 5%, whatever. But like packs are even worse. Packs are harder. I can tell you very reliably many times if a card's going to get a PSA 10 or a 9 or an 8, and I can guess on 1,000 cards and be like really close. I could be plus or minus tenths of a point overall. With packs, it's like I have no idea. I've seen 10s in my hand that had issues, and I've seen 8s in my hand that looked pristine, immaculate, no issues that I could find. Not really. Packs are tough. Like there's never no issues, but like way less issues than the 10 that's in my other hand. So yeah, I don't know. Any tips or tricks for people interested in getting into consigning through you? So yeah, if you're interested in consigning, my fees are right here. Let me drop this down. I do. So Fanatics doesn't do tag slabs, so I don't do tag slabs. It needs to be CGC, PSA, or BGS graded. If it sells for, this is total sales price. If it sells for $2,400 plus, you net out 95%. So I don't like that Fanatics has a buyer's premium, but the way that it works is that if it sells for $2,000, that's what's called a hammer, and then the buyer pays 20% buyer's premium. So 2,000 times 1.2 is $2,400. That's what's called the total sales price on this graphic. Total sales price. You net out 95% of the hammer plus buyer's premium, which is the total sales price. So on a $2,400 sale, you would net out $2,280. You would net out 95% of the total sale price, and fully insured inbound. If you send $10,000 of cards to my vault with signature tracking, you have to put signature on it. It will be fully insured for the full market value of the package. I pay out via ACH, Wire, PayPal, Friends and Family, Zelle. I can pay out by a check. I have a couple consigners that want an old school check to be paid out. So tips and tricks for consigning with me are, I just gave you like the quick rundown of how it works. Shoot me a DM, shoot me an email, and I will give you more information if that didn't answer everything. If there are any standing questions after you heard that answer, I will make whatever fuzzy things you have clear. I will clear those up, and then we will consign. So if you're interested, it's because taller men are more likely to live it up big. Living it up big is a confounding variable of those miles. I know tall people are more likely to be CEO. Tall people are more likely to be like president. The average height of, obviously, athletes, I didn't do any of those things. Well, I guess I am the president of Catch 'em All Collectibles Incorporated. So I am a CEO. I'm a president CEO, but CEOs on average are taller than the average man. Like man or woman. I don't know if that actually goes into women's CEOs. I know men's CEOs on average are taller. Is a taller woman more likely to become a CEO as well? I would guess yes, but maybe it doesn't transfer across. I don't know. Being real, how is MetaZoo doing? Is the community growing, shrinking, too hard to measure? I'm genuinely curious. I don't have any analytics at my disposal to measure that. I don't know print runs. I don't know. I don't follow along how many followers they have on Instagram or YouTube or whatever. But eBay sales have been kind of steady. It's not Pokemon. I will say it's not Pokemon. But eBay sales, MetaZoo base set is 2.5 months old now. So sales feel pretty steady. Sales feel pretty decent. No, not 2.5 months. What am I talking about? I'm going from the Destined Rivals release date. MetaZoo was March 30th. So it's 4.5 months old. For a 4.5 month old set, the booster box prices have trickled down. The booster box prices have gone from MSRP the first couple of weeks. I want to say they're like 80, 90 bucks on eBay right now. So they've gone down a decent bit. They're not like below distro or anything, but they feel decent. They feel like relatively what Pokemon has done in like normal times. In normal times, Pokemon with an MSRP of 140, the boxes are available for like 90 to 100. So with MetaZoo having an MSRP of 120 and MetaZoo being 80 to 90 feels reasonable. What this will do, I have no idea. I think this one out of the gate was going for like 120. This one out of the gate, people are selling for like 90 already. So we'll see what happens. They added a new rarity tier. They added a legend rarity tier. They also have the altar. They also have the hidden rares. I didn't pull any hidden rares in my 2 boxes. But overall, I think it's good. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. How it's doing though, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully well. Loose packs heard you were buying and decided not to show. DJ Mines says to the collection before, if it's worth 45K, I'd pay like 30K. Too much work selling all that one by one. People would think like, oh my God, 30K on 45K. Like, this guy's a scammer. Honestly, depending on what it is, that's a 2/3 value. That's 66.7% offer. That might be a solid offer. If it's like one-off, random. I mean, we don't know either. Let me see. Oh, it's a sealed collection. I was going to say, it might be all 10-cent singles, 10, 20, 30-cent singles. It said sealed, so it's not that. But like, I wouldn't pay 10K on a 45K collection of energies, right? I mean, it all depends on what it is. So 67% could be reasonable. 90% could be reasonable as well. Why are you greater than 90% on anything but not 151? I have a lot of 151. Let me pull up my inventory. So PKM Ponga, I typed in inventory. I don't have the spreadsheet called that. So PK and Ponga together have 5,000 packs. I have over 5,000 packs myself on site. So I have over 10,000 packs of 151. I like it a lot more than most things, but like Fusion, right now, actually Fusion, I just bought 1,000 from somebody. So we have like 2,500 Fusion. Let's see. Evolving, I have 400 packs. So I might be paying 90% on Evolving because I have 400 packs and I want more. And 151, I have like 10,000. So what I'm paying percentage-wise is always a reflection of my cash flow. It's always a reflection of my inventory. It's always a reflection of my sales. Some amount of all of those things together, all averaged together. Sorry if I sound weird too. My nose is super stuffed. I mowed the lawn yesterday. Actually, I mowed the lawn with my neighbor's lawnmower. My neighbor's zero-turn lawnmower. I'm not gonna get a zero-turn lawnmower because my driveway, my lawn is too steep, and zero-turn lawnmowers don't like they get squirrely on steep lawns. So I'm probably gonna go get a Cub Cadet sometime the next few days. But my mower is entirely dead. It stalled. It was smoking. It's losing oil for the past couple months. It's 12 years old. It's shot. It's done. I went over to try starting it to see if I could get one more mow out of it. It's not even turning over. So I don't know if the battery died trying to start it up after it stalled last time. Or if the battery died, you'd hear like click, 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 click. I heard nothing. When I try to turn it over, it's just dead. Maybe a wire broke. Maybe, I don't know what happened, but I'm not even going to find out what happens. I spent way too much time troubleshooting and fixing that stupid lawnmower. But yeah, let me, Dan has his kids pick out his Avias, so now I can't roast them. I'm going to put that on I need to start a Charlotte CletiCon recap list, and I'm going to make sure to send a photo of the Avias. So, Charlotte recap, photo of the Avias, clown on Brad G. Okay, I put it in my notes for the recap, Brad. So, I did wear Avias, brand new pair of Avias down to Charlotte that were hand selected by my daughter. So they're a little bit more, I'll call them flashy than I would have picked by myself. But they kind of grew on me throughout the weekend, honestly. They felt good, they looked good. $23.95. They didn't break the bank. So I'm a big fan of the new Avias. Innovate TCG says I haven't been to one of these in a while. The name is definitely familiar. Glad to have you back. DJ Mine says, I'll hold until I can get 40K out of it. You'll be able to get 40K out of it, definitely, when it's worth like 60K, but then you'll probably want 55K out of it, right? But yeah, Stanley, let me know what's in there. Is it cases? If it's booster cases of anything, I might buy the booster cases for 85%. So maybe you'll sell 25 grand of it for like, well, 25 grand times 85 would be 21,250, I believe. Let me see if I did that right. 0.85 times 21,250. I did it right. 0.8 times 25. I knew it was 20, and then you just add the 5% of the 5 grand. But or no, 5% of the 25 grand. Spat says hodl forever. I don't know how to say that. Choi says rip Stanley. Spat says can never lose. There's a link to my hot buy list if anyone's interested in selling. It's like anything really. When you sell in bulk / mass collection, people gonna always pay less because they have to do the legwork. There are some exceptions to this though. I will say, when I buy 151, let's say, like right now, I'm buying 151 at, where'd I put it? Right there. I'm buying 151 at 9 a pack. I'm able to buy some 151 at 9 a pack. When I have a hot buy list for 151 at 9, I might get 500 packs in a week. I might get 50 here, 200 there, 100 there, and so on. To get the big sellers selling to me, if I want to buy 10,000 packs of 151 in one go, those people want 975. Those people want 10. So some people, I understand what you're saying, and sometimes it's true, but sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes if you like, hey, I want 1 gray felt hat. I want 5, 10 gray felt hats. You can buy those at market. You can buy those at 100% of market. But if you want someone to sell you, one individual to sell you 400 gray felt hats in one go, you're going to be paying 110, 115, 120% of market at times. So it can go either way. There's always nuance. There's always room for nuance. Keep the questions coming. I see them coming. I will get to them all as quickly as I can. My stupid OBS Studio does not have... Oh, there's my chat. There we go. My chat's loading right now. So I will have the live chat and I will have the pinned chat as well. Or the highlight chat as well. Let's see where we're at. LO to 1K or Evolving Skies to 3K first. Let me know so I can predict the opposite. I don't know the prices off the top of my head, so let me look quickly. I actually, the spreadsheet for the pallets has been broken for a while, so I actually fixed it earlier. I'm looking at that number on the 3 pallets combined, and I'm ready to hit the sell button. I can't until 2030 though, so my hands are tied. But it looks like I know the spreadsheet isn't going to be perfect. This spreadsheet is calling a box of Lost Origin 600. So that would be like a 60% increase for LO to 1,000. And this is calling Evolving Skies 2253. So that would be like a 30% increase. So is LO going to increase 60%? Or is Evolving going to increase 30% first? I feel like... Oof. I feel like I'm going to say Evolving Skies 30%. I feel like Lost Origin should go up 60% before Evolving Skies does. But Evolving Skies is just an enigma. So, yeah. I feel like Evolving Skies to 3K first. But it wouldn't surprise me the other way. Son of a Mewtwo with the Gengar emojis. Appreciate you being a member. Timmy says, what advice do you have for pre-grading modern packs? Oh, I've been terrible. I'm a terrible YouTube live streamer. I have... let me make sure this doesn't show my messy desk. Where are we? Yes. Now I have my alerts on. So if anyone subscribes or does anything, the lawnmower should go. There's the Fisherman for Pokefire subscription that happened 7 hours ago. So Pokefire did not subscribe when I was live, but I replayed it just so we could make sure it was working. I probably need to reach out to HiveMind. If I buy a Cub Cadet, I need to get my lawnmower updated to be yellow. Because right now it's red. I had a Massey Ferguson, but the Massey Ferguson is dead. Ponga visited before New Jersey Collecticon. Ponga sat on it. I took a picture of Ponga on my lawnmower, and a month later, my lawnmower died. Coincidence? I say sabotage. I say sabotage. I don't have any proof. I'll have to consult the security footage. It probably already wiped itself by now. But yeah, I didn't think about that. I should have consulted the security footage because he probably sabotaged. But pre-grading modern packs, the general advice that I would give, and sorry, I only have Metazoo packs near me, so we're gonna have to do it with Metazoo packs. But like these 2 packs are right out of a box and they're pretty clean. If I take one pack and I like crunch it a bunch, if I like wrinkle it and crinkle it, which can happen to a pack over 25 years. Like if you look at it closely now, there's like stress marks all over it. Generally speaking, this pack should get a lower grade since I've been doing this, and this one I didn't do that too. So like look for obvious things, and if the pack looks cleaner, if the crimps are cleaner, if the artwork is more centered, do the more centered, the more clean, the more nice one. But I will tell you this, I will caveat it with this at the end. I've always submitted the cleaner ones, and sometimes I've done a test. Sometimes I've really tried to mess them up, and I've gotten 10s on some ugly ones, and I've gotten 8s on some pretty ones. So like at the end of the day, consistently inconsistent, and it's worse than with cards, I think. I think the variance is worse with packs than it is with cards. My drink is sweating all over the place. Gotta have that ice cold lemon sparkling water. I bought a Fusion Strike booster box, has a small cut from box cutter when taken out of case. How much does that hurt the price? So I was at Collecticon, and I saw an Evolving Skies booster box for 2,100 with a torn open thing on the side. It was sitting while some other boxes were selling for 23, 24, 2500. So it was discounted over 10% and no one was buying it. Maybe it sold by the end, I don't know. But like me personally, collector boy Dan would not want to pay more than loose pack price for that, honestly. Like if we're valuing, I've got Evolutions up there. If we're valuing, like Fusion Strike is crazy too. I buy packs of Fusion Strike for $11 a pack. So that works out to like a $400 booster box. And I'm paying 90% of market. So maybe it's a $440 for 36 loose packs. A box right here shows $825. We're valuing that little piece of plastic at $400. So my opinion, if you slice through the wrapper, a $400 wrapper, you should cut half the value of that wrapper off, in my opinion. Maybe the market doesn't agree with me, but like, yeah, I personally wouldn't value it more than $600. Would I buy it? Maybe I'd buy it at $600 to sell it on Probstein or sell it on Consignment. Maybe it would go higher than that. I'm not the absolute truth. Like me personally, I value it less than the market does. I see boxes with dinged corners. I see boxes with a cut in the wrap go for like 85, 90, 95% of market at times. And me personally, I would just pay the extra little bit to get a clean, nice one. But I'm not that buyer anyways. I don't buy loose boxes. I buy sealed cases or I buy loose packs. To me, a booster box does nothing for me whatsoever. The only time a booster box does anything for me is if I can break it down and get cheaper loose packs than buying the loose packs. Daniel's been everywhere and done everything, folks. A lot of new things to do in the future in my life. Not quite, but I've been around. I've been around for 11 years, so what? Oh, I was gonna say, Brad. I looked at the live chat and I'm like, what is the context for this comment, Brad? I'll get to it later. It's not timely enough to bring it into. When will you consign sealed again? I have like 120K collector value. I don't want to sell you until you reopen it. I will reopen it the day that Fanatics reopens it. If I'm lucky, maybe I'll open it before Fanatics reopens it. Maybe I'll open it as an exclusive person to sell sealed through. But as of right now, they don't have any plans to, as far as I understand. I hope it comes back. I'm begging for it to come back. But yeah, they haven't yet. Rudy mentioned he believes TPCI is redirecting product from distros to big box stores. Thoughts? I feel like when I was watching that video of Rudy's, I feel like I was having a flashback to, I think like a year ago. Maybe even less than that. Me and Nick on PokeFlips, or maybe me on one of these live streams. I feel like we talked about how they're doing a lot of reprints through retail and thinking into why the reasons for that are. And I think it's reasonable that they are doing that to circumvent this whole upcharging thing. When they send it to Walmart, Walmart sells it for MSRP. When they send it to Target, Target sells it for MSRP. GameStop, not so much, as far as I understand. But I could see it being a thing. I feel like I talked about this at some point in the past, but I could see them making a conscious decision to hit big box with restocks more frequently than distro, because if it goes to distro, they'll sell Destined Rivals to me for $300 a box, and I'll pay it. Or $250 a box is the most recent I paid. And I paid it. But when they send it to Walmart, booster bundles, they sell it for MSRP or Best Buy or wherever. So I think there's some logic behind that, and I think it's reasonable. Thoughts on Rudy saying it's a good thing Pokemon is selling through big box, but Pokemon saying it's bad? I don't think it's inherently good or bad. I think it just is. So it just is. I did watch Pokeye's video as well. I watch too much PokeTube. But Rudy and Brian are some that I watch more of their videos. And I think it just is. Like, things aren't good or bad, they just are. It just is, and there's pros and cons. There's pros and cons to each. One con of big box, I'm not getting it. I'm not eating. I'm not making the money. If Pokemon restocks Destined Rivals to me at $100 a box, I'm feasting. I'm making a ton of money. If they restock it to me at $250, I'm nibbling. I'm getting some crumbs. I'm making a little money. If they restock it through big box, I guess some of it makes it to me, because if they restock 151 through big box, some people sell to me on my hot buy list. So yeah, I think the whole like the whole good bad, good evil, collector investor, the whole like dividing, like it has to be binary. I don't think it's necessary. It just is, And there's a lot of conversation you can have about the pros and the cons of each. So yeah, that's my thoughts. Would I rather it be distro or big box? I'd rather it be distro. I'd rather get scalped by a distributor than by a botter, honestly. I'd rather my distro scalp me, and because it's just easier. I wish my distro, like, one thing I don't like though, last time I bought Destined Rivals from my distro, they would only scalp me on 108 packs. I would have bought 1,000 packs, but they'd only give me 108. So I wish distro would scalp me on higher quantities. That's one thing the botters will do. I was offered 15,000 packs of 151 in one shot. So I'm not rich enough to take all those. I'm not liquid enough to take all those. So I only took like 3,000 packs. But I love buying 3,000 packs at 90% market as opposed to buying 100 packs at 90% market. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I've gone corporate. I've gone S corporate. Catch 'em All Collectibles is an official S corporation. So it is a one-man, one-family operation. And that's likely all it will ever be. I will expand. I will grow by going business to business. Troll and Toad Evo years ago. Punga Enterprises Worldwide, PK Enterprises Worldwide, Sky Enterprises Worldwide. I don't know how their businesses are actually structured, but they have a business of some kind, and they allow me, independent contractor, to corporation relationship. They allow me to expand and grow exponentially. So, was it hard for you to jump into OSRS? Longtime RS3 player, just feels hard to give up playing on the account I've had since I was 10. So let me see if I can RuneScape high scores my old account. I played for a while when I was growing up on one account, and I thought I would have had like high levels. I logged into it. There was not much there. It's loading. Why is it loading so slow? I can't even find it. Oh, I think I changed the name. I think I changed the name on that account too. I did my childhood name on it. Maybe I didn't change it. I don't know what I changed the name to, but anyways, I wasn't leaving much behind. I want to say the total level of my account growing up was a little over 1,000. I want to say my highest levels were like in the 70s. My account you could have made in a month. In a month of like playing a couple hours a day, you could have replicated the account I had when I was 10. So I didn't play like original RuneScape that thoroughly, that like towards the end game. So for me, like when mobile came out, mobile release date of OSRS, I believe it was around Halloween, mobile release day OSRS. I joined on October 30th, 2018. So I've been playing at this point old school for 7 years, and I have like 100 days of playtime in 7 years. A lot of that's very AFK. A lot of that's done at work, my current work, my old work, wood cutting, mining, things like that, AFK slaying. But it would be a lot to leave behind, but like, if you're not having fun, don't, like, sunk cost fallacy. Sunk cost fallacy. Don't play RuneScape the rest of your life if you hate it, if there could be better games out there for you. It's kind of a lot to, like, mentally give up on all that time, but, like, it's not going to go anywhere, right? Don't delete your account. It's still there if you want to go back to it, but nothing wrong with trying out a new game if you're interested in it. Everybody who didn't buy Destined at 250 is missing out. If somebody thinks it will ever go back to that point, it's delusional. Not only do I think it will go back to 250, I think it'll go under $200 a box. I think it might go under MSRP. Maybe not the booster box, but I believe the packs will go under MSRP. And I'm open to being wrong, but I'm roughneck. I'm going to push back so heavily on you because, like, some people, so you're saying everybody, you're making a very binary, divisive statement, which is just factually wrong. Like, I'm going to push back very hard on such a firm statement. I'm going to get up on the fence. I'm going to pull you up on the fence with me, and I'm going to show you the nuance. So you're over here. I'm here on the fence. You're up here with me. So I'm going to show you how this is the wrong spot. And some people over here crushed you. So if you diamond-handed your Destined Rivals from 250 to 310, congratulations. I'll pay you 260 for it. I'll pay you 270 for it. Sell it through Probstein. You'll net 280 through it. You made 10%. You made 10% on your money after fees. Like, that's great. Actually, it is. I'm being a little bit like, but it actually is great. But, like, there are people that took their money that they didn't put into Destined Rivals, and they bought XY era booster boxes. and they bought Cosmic Eclipse, and they bought things that have doubled and tripled and quadrupled. They bought Gold Star PSA 9s, PSA 10s. They've ran their business with capital. They let that just be free cash flow. So like, that's such a wild statement to make, and it's so massively incorrect that it is wild to me that someone would make such a firm statement. And to say it's delusional, that a 2.5-month-old set cannot go back under 250, that is delusional. Your statement is delusional. That's not even my opinion. That's just a fact. So I'm going to give you some back. I went hard. I went hard in the paint on that one, on the fence. It could go back, but it might not too. I think there's a 10% chance it never goes under 250 again. There's a chance it never goes under 300 again. It might be 500 by Christmas, and it might be 1,000 by its 1-year anniversary, and it might never go less than 1,000 again. As I'm talking, I can hear my nostrils filling up more. But like, to say that a 2.5-month-old set can't go back to 250, we're not even talking MSRP. Oh, here we go. L-Dub says Dan hit the lights. We're going red lights. We're gonna do it. Hold on. I need to prep for a second. I'm sorry I didn't do this 2 seconds ago, but to say it's delusional that not buying Destined at 250, and to say that it's delusional that Destined will ever go back to 250, we're not talking MSRP. Allen Iverson, you got me? Practice? We're not talking MSRP. We're talking 250. We're talking 80%, 50% more than MSRP. If you think it's impossible for a 2.5-month-old set to go back to 250, that is delusion. You could be right, but that is delusion. Delusional people occasionally say like, hey, someone's going to walk through that door in 30 seconds. Delusional people can get things right. A broken clock is right twice a day, right? So just because you're being delusional doesn't mean you'll be wrong. You might come back and you might say, that Catch 'em All Collectibles, he's a clown. He doesn't know what he's talking about. I said this in his live stream on this date. And I said that Destined Rivals would never go back under 250. If you end up being right, doesn't mean your logic was. Outcome does not equate to correctness of decision. To say anything that firmly about something that you have no clue, you have no control over. We're talking about a speculative asset that a third party controls and prints. Pokemon could decide, like, hey, this roughneck guy, we want to bury him. We want to sink him under a pile of Destined Rivals. They might take this personal. They could print 15 billion cards in the next 12 months, and 8 billion of them could be Destined Rivals. And I promise you, if they print 8 billion cards into Destined Rivals, that will go under 250. That will go under MSRP. If they offer me like 100 cases of Destined Rivals, I'm not taking them all. No one's taking them all. Not many people are taking them all. And Pete Football Pete is going to 160 and 140 and 120, and that box will be back to $100. I don't think it'll go back to 100. I think it will go back to MSRP. I'm quite confident it'll go under 200. But to say it's impossible, to say it's delusional to think it will go to 250 is just wild to me. Let me scroll down and see if I can find any other one to cover while I'm still red light. But we don't need to keep the lights red all night. We can go back to it if we need it. Here we go. Innovate TCG. I saw in the live chat, Innovate. I saw you said he's gonna shit on my comment too, so I had to find it. I'm glad you said that in the live chat. Otherwise, I wouldn't have said it. I wouldn't have found it. I sell Korean Destined Rivals. I've sold over 60 plus boxes. Korean doesn't sell that quickly. I can tell you for a fact that a Destined Rivals is going to the moon. People love that set. I'm assuming this was mostly meme, especially for the comment that you made. But like, so again, go into a casino. Go into any random casino on a Wednesday night. And there's going to be people in there that think they have a system. And some of those people that think they have a system, hey, I've watched that roulette wheel for 8 hours. and it hasn't hit green zero once. It's due. You're delusional if you think green zero isn't the next one. People have said that before. I can almost guarantee it at some point in the history of the world. And they go up to the thing and they put 10 grand on it and it hits green zero and they make $350,000. Was their thesis logical? Was their thesis of sound mind? No, they were delusional and they made money. So like, you might make money with your delusions, but like, to be so outrageously, irrationally exuberant and to call the other side delusional is just like, that's just wild to me. Let me see if anyone else has any red light takes that I can cover. But for comfort chat, I don't have a Destin Rivals booster box on me. And like, I think I scared Roughneck away. I'm sorry, Roughneck, please come back. But like, Roughneck, how many do you have? How many Destin Rivals cases do you have? Dan falling for troll rage bait. It might be, but like, hey, it gets engagement, it gets good, gets good viewership when we go red lights. It's been a while, but like, if that's real, I would ask the question of like, how much do you have, and do you realize your opportunity cost? Do you realize the opportunity cost you had of holding that set for 3 months while some other things have been doing crazy numbers? I definitely need Nasonex for sure. To my destined comment, yes, I meant booster boxes. Let's say this box hits 500 by the end of the year. Do you really think it will drop to MSRP? I think regardless of what price it hits in the next 6 months, I think it's going to go back under MSRP for the packs. The boxes could be higher. Like one thing we've never seen in the history of Pokemon, as far as I understand, we've never seen a box being 500 within 2 years of release, simultaneously with a pack being like 6. But one thing Destin could do, maybe they don't touch the boxes. Maybe they say, hey, Roughneck, you're going to be right. The boxes will never go back under 250 again. But they could print 1 billion packs of Destin Rivals through collection boxes, through Costco, through Target, through Walmart, and they could get the MSRP on the packs while simultaneously having boxes be 250, 300 plus. Look at Fusion right now. Look at let me go back to my thing. Like Silver Tempest right now. What is Silver Tempest? Silver Tempest is a $383 box, so it's like double and then some MSRP. But what are the packs? Or let me see if I can do it on I have so many spreadsheets. I need to think of the best one to go to look at this. So Battle Styles right now is, where's Battle Styles? Battle Styles is a $6 pack. Oh, it's not even much of a box premium. It's crazy to me how Battle Styles is like no box premium, but then Fusion is like double and then some. Evolve Skies is 2.1% box premium, 210% box versus 36 loose packs. So like you could have a scenario where Destin Rivals is 300, which equates to like $8 packs, yet the packs are like 4 or 5. And that could happen. So I truly don't know, but to call people delusional for saying a 3-month-old set, that's just like, that was too much. That made the lights red for the first time in 4 months. And you say, like, I know everyone has different cash flow, capital, whatever. This is not meant to be like punching down or anything. But like, if you think it's guaranteed, and sometimes I hear people saying, if all this guys is guaranteed going to be $5,000 by the end of the year, how many do you have? Oh, I have 1. Like, what are we doing? You think it's going to do all these crazy things and you have no money behind it. It's all talk. Talk is cheap. It's all talk. It's no walk. So I always push back, and it's like, if you truly believe these, but I've already demonstrated, like, there's a, like, to say everybody who didn't buy it, not only did I not buy it, well, I bought some for the live streams, but I sold what I had. So I did further than not buying it. Like, I net lowered my position at 250, and to call that delusional is just wild, because it's like, I've ran my business since then. I've bought some packs that have gone up 10, 20, 30% that I can actually realize via sale. It's gone up 20, 25%. So you'll net a 10% gain after selling it. And if you're talking about having bought it at 250 plus sales tax, now you pay 275. You're just at break even now. I don't want to be mean, but like, what are the odds that you bought it plus sales tax? It's a common sense. Like, there's a big overlap between people that say Destined Rivals can't go down and people that are paying sales tax on items intended for resale, which is just, I think that is just self-demonstrating how ridiculous that is. Dana's great, but he's aptly cooked with his bet with retro. We'll see. If I lose a Team Rocket case, I can swing it. If I literally just had this conversation in Charlotte, so this is a timely thing. If Destined Rivals is 300 in December, if Destined Rivals is 500 next August, if Destined Rivals is $1,000 in 3 years, what is my Sword Shield palette? What is my Scarlet Violet palette? I have 4 cases of Destined Rivals on my palette, by the way, so I have some of it. It's like, if Destined Rivals is 1,000 in 2 years, that's a triple by my count. That's a 3x. What is my 151 loose packs? Are they not $40? If Destined Rivals is 1,000 in 3 years, I have a hard time seeing how 151 isn't $40 a pack. I have a hard time seeing how some of my let me go back to my other spreadsheet. I have a hard time seeing how my Lost Origin isn't double, triple. Like, if that's going on, I'm gonna be just fine. If I only have 4 Destined cases when it's $1,000 a box, if that's cooked, cook me up. I'm ready for that. Z paid sales tax for years. Don't forget. I will never forget, and I will never let him forget either. I want to watch Dan react to Vapor Self. Have you seen that guy's content? I've never seen his content. I don't do react content though. I don't like the idea of it. I would rather like be on a live stream with somebody. I would love to be on a live stream with somebody who like with Roughneck. I would love to be on a live with Roughneck and debate back and forth how people are delusional for not having bought Destined Rivals at 250. I would push back and I would say, like, as I have, and this is one-sided. This is not fair. Like, props to you. Shout out, like, props to Roughneck. I turned the lights red. I kind of pounced on him. He's coming back and he's engaging in chat. Like, I love the back and forth. I know that I hold the position of power. I'm the one on screen. I'm the one that everyone has to listen to yap. Not everyone is going to read Roughneck's comments. But yeah, appreciate you, Roughneck, for being here and for coming back. Even if they hit 500 by the end of the year, I think they will go sub MSRP, but they might not either. They might not either. I don't like react content because I've said this before. This is a good red light thing too. I think the last time I talked about this, it was when the lights were red. So in the best case scenario, react content is, here's this individual's content. I'm going to play it in its entirety as I pause and react to it. So if you don't play it in its entirety, you might be, whether intentionally or unintentionally, taking things out of context. Most react content that I've seen, it's like, it's 1 8-second clip where you don't know what they said on either side of it, and they react like there's a lot of straw manning. There's a lot of like things like that going on. Whereas if you play the thing in its entirety, and I know it's hard to react to a 2-hour live stream, it's hard to react to a 45-minute video, but I think it's only fair to react to a video in its entirety and give the audience the full context. And then further than that, this is how I characterized it before. So when I make a video, I am me. It is firsthand primary information, but I'm not good with words. I'm not amazing with words. So like if somebody clips me out of context in a 45-minute rant video, they might take an 8-second clip where I just said something wrong. I said something that I didn't mean to say. So I in my mind lives A. Message A. My message A is that I think every set has been, and I know every set has been, and I think every set will continue to be widely available for under MSRP at some point in its release. At some point in its first 2 to 3 years after release. That's message A. I'm not a wordsmith. I'm bad with words, so sometimes I stumble over my words and I say something a little bit wrong. I say something, and the message that I actually deliver. So A is here, and B is what comes out of my mouth. So A and B sometimes have a disconnect. So sometimes when you're reacting to somebody's content, even if you're reacting to what they say, you're not reacting to what they think they're saying. So what I want to say, what I think I'm saying is A. How you take it is something else. I make one video. When I make one video, 2,000 people see it. And yes, I'm like sweating. Can you see my cheeks? I'm like sweating with the red lights right now. When I make a video and 2,000 people see it, there's not 2,000 reactions to it, but there's like hundreds of different reactions to it. There's hundreds of different takes about my one video. So message A delivered as B, it's received as C, D, E, F, G. So a lot of React content, straw mans, a lot of React content tells people what the person's trying to say. Like I'll pick on Alex because Alex gets reacted content a lot. So a lot of people have built their channel reacting to Alex and other people. And I'll say this, which is a little bit red light. If you go to a channel and you look at their top videos, you go to Catch 'em All Collectibles and sort by top videos. And so do this for any channel. I'm calling out channels. I won't call them out by name, but I'll call them out by one metric. If you look at their top 20 videos, and half of them have someone else's name in them, half of them have someone else's face in them, and they're purely React videos. Alex is evil because he said this. I've watched terrible React videos about Alex. And they're like, he's mean and he said this and he said that. It's like, I watched that video. I didn't agree with 100% of what he said, but I agreed with 92% of what he said. And the stupid React video that was a garbage trash piece of hot garbage video, I might have agreed with 20% of it or 30% of it. Sometimes I might have agreed with 60% of it. But the other 40% that I didn't agree with, it was delusional. It was clickbait. It was rage bait. It was what's the thing I just said? Straw manning. Appreciate you. Let's rock it with the 10 super chat. I will get to your question. I saw your question earlier. I would have got to it for free. But I hate React content because it's unfair and it's oftentimes just trash content. It's trash. And what's the saying by Eleanor Roosevelt, I believe? Small minds discuss people. I need to Google it because I'm terrible. See, I'm not a wordsmith. I should have Googled it before I tried saying it. Great minds discuss ideas. Average minds discuss events. Small minds discuss people. There are a lot of small-minded React content channels out there where if you look at their top 20 videos, they grew off bashing Leonhardt. They grew off bashing Nostalgianomics. They grew off bashing Rudy, whoever. And that's just not content for me. The thing is, it sells. People love it. People love it. It sells. So it's never going to stop. It's never going to stop. Maybe I'll get my own video. I've gotten a video or two that have gone under the radar, but maybe I'll get a special video just because of this. I hate React content because A is what I believe and what is in my mind, and I convey B. It's a little bit different and then it's received as 20 other things. So half the people following these big channels, some bigger than Alex's, they don't know what Alex says. They know what this individual says that Alex says. And there's some overlap. So there's some overlap. I need to be careful that I don't say the names. There's some overlap between what Alex Nostalgianomics says and what this person says they say. But it's not one-to-one. And sometimes it's way off. So best case, it's missing context. Best case, it's unintentionally mischaracterizing their argument. Worst case, which happens. I know this happens. Worst case, it's intentionally misleading. Worst case, it's intentionally taking out of context. Worst case, it's intentionally straw manning and just kind of like trying to take down somebody for no good reason generally. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I will try to leave the red lights fairly soon. Let me take this super chat. I have a shiny Mega Ray from Ancient and Modern PSA 10, along with the Primal Kyogre and Groudon. I think it will continue to grow with the new Mega Ray set coming out. What are your thoughts on that? So when I say this, I am biased because I have a consignment service. But like, I would shout out my consignment service. That card is worth so much money. If it were mine today, I would sell it through Fanatics. I would net 95% out on that sale on Fanatics. But to be fair, and to show you that like I would have been wrong, I would have sold it 3 months ago. I would have sold it 6 months ago. I would have sold it a year ago. So I would have sold it way too soon. But like even in that, like I would sell it today if it was me. I'm not telling you to sell it. I'm telling you what I would do today. If you want to sell it, I could consign and net you out 95%. Fully insured process, PayPal, friends and family, ACH, Zelle, Wire, however you want to be paid out. If you don't want to, if you don't like me, if you don't want to consign with me, Probstein will net you out 95% on eBay. Z&G Emporium will net you out 95% on eBay. Fanatics is great. eBay is great. So like there's a lot of options out there, but I would consider your opportunity cost. What could you do with that money in the meantime? Could you pay off a student loan? Could you pay off your car? Could you invest in destined rivals that won't go down? Could you like, what could you do with that money aside? Those are the considerations I would make with any investment. So you think it will continue to grow? Do you think it will double like the destined rivals will do by December? I'm just picking, obviously, but that's my thoughts. So let's see. Where are we now? Roughneck said, what I wanted to say is the majority of this hobby just buy 1 to 3 boxes of a content creator says don't buy Destined at this price because it will drop. People believe it and miss out on buying the set. So that's one thing I never say. If you can find me saying to buy or to not buy, I say what I'm doing. I say that I'm selling Destined for these reasons. I'm buying 151 for these reasons. I never tell people what to buy, what to sell. I literally just did it. So if I had one, I would sell it. If I had one 6 months ago, I would have sold it. If I had it 3 months from now, I would sell it. I'm not telling Let's Rocket to sell it. I never have, never will tell people what to do. And that's one big problem I take with some channels too. So we went after the React channels. Now let's go after the cosplay investors channels. The light's red, so when in Rome. If you go to a channel and the top 20 videos, so we did the reactors. If you go to a channel and you sort by their popular videos and their top 20 videos are top 5 investments, July of 2025, I made a video with that title. But if half of their videos in their top 20 are top investments of this time frame, and buy this, buy that, affiliate link below, and they own almost none of it, if less than 10% of their net worth, if less than 20% of their net worth isn't something that they're saying is going to double guaranteed, it's going to do this, it's going to do that, if all of this guy's at 10,000, and they don't have it, but they're affiliate linking, worst case, they're selling it maybe even, that is a terrible channel. That is a cosplay investor. Watch out for them. You might make money following them from time to time. In a bull market like this, you could have bought about anything a year ago and you'd be doing fine right now. But those are not good situations. And those, someone get this guy a gym towel. He's dripping all over his keyboard. I know. I should have had a headband. And the thing is, I'm not even talking about an individual. I'm talking about like 30% of YouTube channels hitting the investing content. There is no one name in my mind. When I was talking about Alex React, there might have been a name or two in my mind, but I don't have an Apple Watch. We're good. Red light is on. Hello and good evening. I'm going to get back to all the questions that I missed. I feel like this one's gonna go late, but yeah, this we're booming right now. We are booming. I'm gonna go back to the normal lights, and I'm gonna calm down. I'm gonna take a sip. I don't have an exit. I don't have an exit video for the red lights. I just turned the lights regular. But let me calm down. What is it in anger management? Goose Fraba. Hit that like button, y'all. Appreciate everyone hanging out with me. We made it to the other side of the red lights. I'm gonna scroll all the way back up in chat, and I'm going to continue taking questions. If there's any, I probably won't have to go red again. If there's any like blowback about what I said, if there's any like follow up, I will take them. But yeah, let me go back. Some people liking the red lights. I'm going to try to go quicker now. I want to end by 11, but I might have to text my wife and tell her that I have to go past 11. Is it better to just hire someone to do the lawn because your time is more valuable? So, to quote a wise balding man, I'm balding myself, so I can take that shot of them. James, Mr. ZNG Emporium, he posted in my Discord, in my paywall Discord. There's 3 levels of wealth. So, one is you mow your own lawn. The second level of wealth is you pay someone to mow your lawn. The third level of wealth is you mow your own lawn. So Pokemon skipped step 2 for me. I say that mostly jokingly because like, but I enjoy mowing my lawn. It's kind of like a stress reliever. It's kind of like I unwind. I have no commute. My commute is walking into my home office. So I have no commute. Mowing my lawn is like once, twice a week, 40 minutes to just put on a podcast, unwind, and live in my thoughts. And then in the winter, it's snow blowing my driveway. So I could definitely afford to pay someone. I could pay someone less hourly probably to mow my lawn than I'm averaging in my Pokemon business. Very likely. But I just like it. I like doing it. So this past year, it's been kind of frustrating with how much my lawnmower was breaking down. This is, Brad, this is sparkling water with lemon. Homemade sparkling water with lemon. But yeah, I don't think I'll ever outsource mowing my lawn. Like ever. Even no matter where my pallets take me, even if Destin Rivals is $10,000 in 5 years, I don't think I'll outsource mowing my lawn. Part of it too is like, it's adding a human-to-human interaction that I don't want. I'm fairly... Innovate TCG says it's the principle. It's not even the principle. It's like I know that there would be frustrations that would cause me mental anguish over dealing with someone mowing my lawn. I'm not even particular about how it's done. It's just about like when I have a party and when I know I want it done, I just do it myself. I don't have to coordinate with anybody. And when my car breaks down, I guess I do go to the dealer these days. It would be under warranty. But when I need to change my oil, I just do it. I go to my dad's. He's got a lift. I change my oil. When my furnace stops working, I troubleshoot it and I fix it myself. Or I call up my dad and we figure it out. When my dryer breaks, I fix my dryer. No, that's not a Rudy joke. That's just actually something that happened. I don't want to have strangers to my house, in my house. I want to be like self-sustaining, self-sufficient. Homestead lifestyle, self-sufficiency is something I value. Not entirely by any means. I'm not running an actual homestead. I don't grow all my own food or anything like that. But someday, living on 100 acres, having some goats, having some cows, having some chickens, it would be cool to live on a fully self-sufficient, off the grid homestead compound. I don't think that will ever happen, but it would be cool. What's up, Dan? What's your thoughts on the new zoo set you're going to ship? We're going to rip and ship it. So I'll make a video Tuesday. I talked about it a little bit earlier. Sorry, I'm going to make a video Saturday about our live stream Tuesday. So stay tuned for MetaZoo Saturday. That is coming back this Saturday. Is there a specific way you have to file your taxes in order to expense your inventory when you buy instead of when it's sold? Just popping in to rewatch later. Thanks for your time. Yeah, so what you're referring to is cash basis versus accrual basis. So if you're accrual basis, you don't write off something until you sell it. If I buy this for 80 bucks and I sell it for 120, I realize the gain upon sale. If I do business all year and I have 80 bucks left over and I buy this on December 31st, now my $80 net gain went to zero because cash basis, I write it off as I buy it. So yeah, that's the differential. Shout out to Not Your Dad CPA. Not sponsored, not affiliated. He's just a good channel that is an actual CPA that talks about a lot of tax stuff. Let me see. I'm so torn on letting these older XY and Sun and Moon boxes go, but man, feels tough to not sell into this market. Yeah, again, if I had XY Sun and Moon boxes, I would have sold them. I would sell them today. And like, talk versus walk. I have been in the hobby for 11 years. I got back into the hobby in 2014. Phantom Forces was the newest set. How disingenuous of me would it be to say that XY Sun and Moon are a good investment when I literally have zero? Like, I got allocated Phantom Forces. I got allocated every Sun and Moon set. Every Sun and Moon set I had cases of. I had them by the case. And today, I have zero. So I can't say it's a good investment. I can't say I would buy it because I literally sold it all. And some of these channels, some of these cosplay investors just drive me nuts because it's like, and they don't actively drive me nuts because I don't watch them. But like, people will just say, buy this, buy that. They don't own any of it. They've never owned any of it. They're never going to own any of it. It's like, well, if I had this much money, I would buy this. Well, you don't factor into that market if you've never been a participant and you never will be. It's wild. I knew my numbers would be a little bit low. It's an import XML off like a little bit old data. So LO's 700, ES is 2400. I'm going to stick with Evolvus guys though. Debating on selling my raw card collection to move into more sealed and slabs. Need advice if I should or not. I will never give advice on if you should or not. I don't know what your raw cards are. I don't know what sealed you're talking about buying. Generally speaking though, what do I do? So talk versus walk. I'm not going to recommend you do this, but me personally, all my long-term investments are sealed. I have almost no singles. Occasionally I'll buy some deep quantity of singles as a speculation. But 99% of my long-term investments are in sealed. So I'm not telling you to do that, but I'll tell you why I do that. I like sealed better. I rip it on the rip and ships. I have the ability to sell it at a much higher percentage. It's more fungible. When you're talking about a 151 pack, I have 10,000 151 packs, and if you buy a 151 pack from me, it doesn't matter which one of the 10,000 I give you, they're all the same thing. If I've got 100 of this Mimikyu card, sure, it might go for 10 bucks or whatever it goes for, but these are not fungible like a booster pack is. These are not fungible. And a booster pack, a booster case is not perfectly fungible either. Fungible means that one can be exchanged for the other. Like, here's a stack of 120s. These 20s are fungible because if I owe you $20 and I'm settling up my debt with you, you don't care whether I give you this 20 or this 20. Shout out to Java. Java paid me for my packs in these 20s. But like, US dollars are as fungible as it gets because one could be exchanged for the other. Now, if you want to get in deep, you could say there's star notes. You could say that there's special serial numbers. You could say that there's radars, repeaters. Getting in deep, like even US dollars are not 100% fungible. But yeah. Is it true that you got the buckets tattooed on your back? Dan is afraid of people that have tattoos. No, I did not get the buckets tattooed on my back. No, I am not afraid of people who have tattoos. I don't personally like tattoos. I don't mind if other people get them. Your body, do what you want with it. But yeah, I'm just not a tattoo guy. I don't have any. My wife doesn't have any. My parents don't have any. My sister has some though. My sister has a couple. Yeah. Let's see. Steve has Celebrations packs for me. Feel free to reach out, email, DM, however you want to get to me. Ash R says, enough about your lawn, bro. Sorry, I will try to end the lawn conversation. Tusami says, good point. I don't know if that's about the fungibility, but perhaps it is. I am way behind. I will try to catch up. Brad, Dan would be retired and off YouTube if he had hand tattoos. I would be such a better live streamer if I had hand tattoos. Maybe I'll have to talk to PK and Ponga about getting hand tattoos. Maybe they'll maybe that'll boom their live streaming businesses. Yes. Every time I get Fanatics ear, I ask them about a few things, one of which is sealed product sales. Hopefully that will come someday. Literally as I type this. Good timing. Do you think the Victini boxes or the McDonald's Japanese McDonald's Pikachu promo have potential to have large gains in the future 2 to 5 years? So I had somebody ask me in a DM recently, and they asked me what my thoughts on the McDonald's Pikachu promos are. So I'll give you 2 things about the McDonald's promo Pikachu. I'll give you what I did, and I'll give you what I think they'll do. So I called this really well. If anyone remembers, let me actually go grab them. Let me go grab them for a second. I'll give you the fisherman for 30 seconds so I can go grab him. I didn't need the full 30 seconds, so I just took 10 seconds of the fisherman. But I should have used the 30 seconds because I sneezed. I called the Nagabas really well. If you go back to a live stream 2 years ago, I said when the Nagabas were coming out and you could buy them for 10 bucks a pack, they got canceled and they immediately went to 20. You could buy them for 5-10 bucks a pack, and they immediately went to 20, and they got canceled en masse. So I said, as I was grading them in mass, as I was buying, I bought like 1,000 Nagaba packs, and I was selling them really quickly because I said by the fall I think these will be $40 PSA 10s. And it happened. And then you know what I said? I said, I think by the fall, there'll be $40 PSA 10s. And I think years later, they'll trickle up. They've done more than trickle up because they bottomed out at $40 10s for not the Umbreon, but most of them were $40 10s a couple falls ago. And now they're like $100 PSA 10s. So they've 2.5x in like 2 years. So I think the McDonald's Pikachu, I bought 400 of them. So talk versus walk. Let me say first, I bought 400 of them. Shout out to _retrospecs on Instagram if you want to buy Japanese sealed, if you want to buy Japanese promos. That's why I buy most of my stuff through. So I bought 400, and I'm going to try to play quick. I'm going to send some to Beckett for a black label. I'm going to send some to PSA, some to CGC Fanatics. I'm going to sell some on live streams. But I'm going to try to have most of them gone within 6 months. And I could be wrong here. They could be $100. One thing, had I given you a price guess on this, I was way wrong. They went way higher than I expected, way faster, and they never came back down. So, like, keep context of when I was wrong and when I was right. But I think McDonald's will be more like Nagaba than Gray Felt Hat. I think they will go too high. I think they'll dip down. I think the pops will be quite high on them. I will do my part on that. I don't think they'll be quite as bad as the Iono's Watch Roll. I bought 100 Iono's Watch Rolls a while back, 200 of them maybe, and I got wrecked. I sold $30 PSA 10s, $40 PSA 10s to keep the money moving. But I think I think they'll kind of be like this. And it's a cool promo though. It's Pikachu. It's McDonald's. It's two Titans. So that's my thoughts. I'm not making like any massive. 400 sounds like a lot, maybe. It kind of is a lot. It was almost $8,000. But I'm not making like a massive play on that. I'm not setting back 1,000 of them at $20, thinking they're gonna go to 100. But they could. That promo could be 100 in 6 months, and it could be 10 or 5 in 6 months. I would lean more towards like 20 to 25 in 6 months. But I think the PSA 10s will go down a lot. I think people will grade too many of them. But maybe they won't. I don't know. Let's see. And I see Innovate in the live chat is talking about Korean Ditto. Korean Ditto is one that I saw. I was looking at it. I was looking at 50. I was looking at 100. If I bought Korean Ditto, I would have bought 5 to 10 grand worth. I would have bought a decent amount of them. I decided not to, and they went up a bunch. And it is what it is. Sometimes they Korean Ditto. Sometimes they Nagawa. Sometimes they look up the Iono's Watch Roll. Look what an Iono Watch Roll is not Pikachu. Watch Roll is not an evolution. But Iono, reasonably popular. Waifu thing going on. I don't know. It did not work out well. But it's always obvious in hindsight. Brandon Hart says, yeah, the conversation is a bit long and drawn out. Rift Hardy says, get fungible tattooed on your knuckles. That would be solid. I'm not a tattoo guy, but if I had to get knuckle tattoos, fungible would probably work well. Where are we? I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any questions. I entered into Pokemon TCG like a month ago, ended up with 12 ETBs from Black White Bolt, hold or sell. I would personally sell. I think it is going to go under MSRP at some point in its 2-year life cycle. It might not though. But I like that's what I would do. I'm not telling you to sell. I don't know your situation. I don't know your opportunity cost. Do you have them on credit cards? Do you have time to flip? I would say sell if you have time to flip. Like I would sell if I was in your situation and I had time to flip and I didn't have a lot of capital. I would sell, free up the capital, flip, make money. I don't think those sitting as an investment is going to perform very well relative to other sealed things as an investment or just having capital to flip. But maybe you don't have time. Like there's a lot of questions I would have to ask. Which era of Pokemon do you believe is the most in a bubble, XY, Sun and Moon, etc., or is it all a bubble at this time? I don't know. It will be obvious in hindsight again. I would lean towards like XY. I think XY is doing crazy things. It would not surprise me. Like going back earlier, I'm not telling him to sell it, but it would not surprise me if the card that was asked about where to go. It would not surprise me if this Mega Rayquaza dropped 50% from where it's at today. But maybe it doubles one more time and then only drops 30%. Like you truly can't know. You can't know. It's obvious in hindsight. It's obvious by people who are Monday morning quarterbacking that that have no idea. They're just making guesses and then some end up right and some end up wrong. But that's my takes. I would say XY slabs are probably the most in a bubble, but they might not have hit their top yet. Let's see. Appreciate you, Modern Day Investing, for hopping in. Hello to you as well. Enjoy your day at work tomorrow. L-Dubs, thank you again for the reminder for the red lights. Dan panting the fence. Red lights do it. He did the thing. So I am 40 minutes behind in chat where I hit the red lights. Transition was immaculate. Is water a chemical? Yes. Pokemon has to cater to players with new mechanics for the game. Do you think they put a lot of time and thought into pleasing collectors? Yes, I think they put a lot of thought and time into all of it. I think they think about this all a lot more than we do. I think they have some amount of people that like watch PokeRev, that watch Danny Phantom. I think they pay people really well to do a lot of market research, and overall, I think they do a really good job of making the next set the best set of all time. And every set is the best set of all time. All I know is Dan is much smarter than me, so I know not to argue against him. No, like, please. I've been wrong many times in life, and I will continue to be wrong many times in life. And I used to be a relatively smart chemical engineer, and there were some dumb things that I did. And I would go to a meeting every other week. I had a meeting with, like, my group, and we had a chemist, and we had 3 chemical engineers in there. And no, they're not the same thing, Ponga. Chemists and chemical engineers are different. But there'd be times where, like, I'd float some idea of like, hey, I'm thinking about trying this in the lab. I'm thinking about trying this. And they're like, well, you didn't consider XYZ. You didn't like, or did you think about this? And it's like, oh no, I can't believe I can't believe those words left my mouth. I just wasn't on top of it that day or whatever. Same thing to the other people. There's times where like consulting with other people who are smart and having people stress test your ideas is always wise. Again, I'm not a pastor. This is not gospel. This is a documentary of one guy documenting his journey through the Pokemon space. I'm doing my best, but I'm not doing perfect. There's always room for improvement. So I'm always open to change my opinion on anything. And there's nothing in this place. It's all highly speculative. It's all like consumer demand is very fickle. I'm very open to being proved wrong on anything. And talking about Destined rivals. Destined is destined to be beaten by other sets' hype, by other sets' next set, best set, and you just never know over 2 years. You never know over 2 years. It very well could happen where Destined goes under MSRP because the Mega Block, like supposedly Phantasmal Flames is gonna have Gengar and Charizard. And say Pokemon, say the next generation. Let's do a hypothetical for Destined rivals. Say the next generation is we've got Lucario and Gardevoir in the first set. Say in the second set you've got Charizard and Gengar. Say the third set is 251 out of nowhere. They give us Johto, 151, but it's Johto. And say the fourth set is the Super Smash Bros. Set that PK always talks about. And say that the fifth set is a Poncho set, and every Poncho gets reprinted in one box. Say that the Mega generation is just the best generation of all time. Do you still think Destined won't go under 250? Do you still think Destined won't go under 150 if they sneak out a bunch of big reprints while the next generation's like demonstrably better in every facet? They're not going to do that. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that Destined will go under 200. So yeah, we don't need to go back to the whole red light thing. Do you feel like the overall sentiment towards holding sealed has changed in the last 6 months? There's a lot of irrational stuff going on. A lot of people think it will only go up. A lot of people think it only can go up. Some people think it's delusional that it could ever go down 20% from where it's at today. A 3-month-old set, which is wild. So yes, I feel like the sentiment is getting fairly delusional, is getting fairly irrationally exuberant in some people. I entered this space. Oh, I already answered that one. DR boosters at 200 to 225 were such an easy play. It's S tier. I mean, they were a bad play relative to the other things you could have done at the time. In hindsight, which is easy, but we don't need to harp on that more. Everyone's probably long gone from that conversation. Here we go. Zarlurking says, Temporal Forces should be a top 3 set. Boxes were short printed and the art is so good it will be one of the most expensive booster boxes within 2 to 3 years. I don't really have anything to push back on that. I'm not the one ripping the packs on stream. I couldn't tell you the top 6 hits of every set. I might not be able to tell you the top hit of most sets. So Temporal Forces right now is 227.49. Yeah, there's not many sets lower than it. It's like the second lowest set in SV. No, the third lowest set. Paradox Rift is the lowest at 212 per my numbers. My numbers aren't perfect, but it goes Paradox Rift, SV base, and then temporal forces. So if what Zard Lurking is saying ends up coming true, like that could be one of the best returners over the next 2 to 3 years. I don't know, so that's why I buy everything. Like I might be wrong on Destined. That's why I have 4 pallets. If I knew that it was going under MSRP, I would have 0. But I have 4 cases because I don't know. I have 14 cases of Temporal. I have 4 cases of Twilight Masquerade. I have 10 cases of Stellar Crown. I will tell you set by set exactly how much of what I have set back. Yeah. And sorry, Let's Rocket. I'm just getting to your comment where you asked without the super chat. I would have gotten to it for free, but you jumped the line with a super chat. Always an option. Let's see where we're at. Innovate says personally they believe it's not impossible for Destin to keep going up, but they would sell at a 20% profit. Don't hold a new set for that long. Take your winnings and buy something else. Like one reason that I love 151 loose packs so much more than Destin Rivals boxes is that the odds of 151 going to 4 or $5 a pack from 9, a 50% drop, are so low. Many would say they're 0. They're really close to 0, but they're not quite 0. 0.001, whatever. And the odds of 151 being a $30 pack in a year, so the odds of it tripling, I think, are higher than the odds of Destin tripling. And the odds of it halving are lower. So it's like, it's better to the upside, and it's better to the downside. But that's my math. That's my thesis. It doesn't mean it's right. I could be wrong. 151 could be $10 a pack in 2 years, and Destin could be $500. I don't think that will happen. Like, if you think that will happen, then hold your Destin and don't buy 151. But yeah, that's my thesis. I put my chips on the table to reflect my thesis, and we'll see what happens. And everyone should do the same. No one should hear what I say and think like, oh, Dan said I'm going to follow him blindly. Alex said I'm going to follow him blindly. Please don't. Listen to people and make your own decisions. Yeah, we don't know the split, but like it seems like it's going less booster boxes, more just packs. And Roughneck, I didn't catch this comment. I'm sorry I didn't catch it live. I take back the delusional take, but there's so much people who saying don't buy Destin boxes now because it will be cheaper in the future. Yeah, like if you're a collector and you like have to have one in every box in your set, and you're worried that it's only going to go up from here, I don't think it's unreasonable to buy one Destin Rivals box and put it in your collection. I personally, I would take the gamble on like, I would rather buy a Sword Shield box. I would rather buy a Silver Tempest if I don't have one. I would rather buy something else. But like, do what you want to do at the end of the day. But you came in hot, so I came back hot, and I'm glad we had some back and forth. This could happen. This could definitely happen, but it might not too. Talking about 8 months for print orders to go to market. Craziness didn't start till January. It was more like November. It was more like surging. But it could be MSRP by November. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Let's see. Do you think some of the modern grails on PSA 10 that are double-digit pop XY124 Pikachu can match some of the price of gold stars in the future? Last sale a few months ago was like 6K. I personally think gold stars are so much better in every way than XY124 Pikachu, and I love that card. I had bunches of them. I had bunches of them from the red blue collection. It's off screen. Let me see if I can pull it on screen a little bit. It's off screen. I have my cameras locked and everything. Oops. Yeah, that's why I didn't try to mess with it live, because instead of unlocking it. So up here I have a red blue collection Charizard. So they made Charizard, Venusaur, Blastoise, and Pikachu. They're hard to grade. I guess I can just leave my camera here. I'll leave my camera here shifted down so you can see it better. I don't know how it got shifted up. But it could beat some gold stars. But do I personally think it should? No, because dollar for dollar, give me the gold star PSA 10 every time. But the market is the market, and just because I think that doesn't mean the market will. The market and I disagree on a lot of things. That would not be the first or the last. Negativity does get clicks. Do you think the current majority distribution to big box stores will help or hurt longevity of the bull market of Pokemon? I don't know. It's so hard to say because if they, it's like they're damned either way. If they sell the distro marks it up to us, and then we sell it for basically market. If they sell it to the end consumer, it gets botted out, and the end consumer, or sorry, the botters sell to the rip and shippers, who sell to the end consumers at the total price. So it feels six in one hand, half does the other. I don't know. You have the same content taste as me, LOL. Ketchum hasn't sold out for views yet. Would you ever sell out to grow your channel? Clearly not. I clearly would not sell out to grow my channel because, like, I'm still going to make a MetaZoo video Saturday, even though I know it's going to be 10 out of 10. I'm still going to make videos and talk about filling my buckets. I'm going to talk about filling my financial buckets. I'm going to talk about the things that I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about mowing my lawn. It's just what it is, who I am. I'm the same if you meet me in person at a Collecticon and as I am on here. Not playing a character. Oh yeah, and you re-asked this one because it took me so long to answer it. But the Victini boxes, I just, again, I will tell you exactly what I'm doing with Victini boxes. I broke down every single one I have. Too much air. I can't play in collection boxes because I'm doing this at a scale that, like, the amount of I would fill my entire garage with Victini boxes. If I put all the money that all my pallets are into Victini boxes alone, my garage would overflow because of all the air that I'm storing. I have a rule against storing things like that. And maybe that's bullish because guys like me won't bother storing them. Maybe that's bullish for Victini boxes, but I just don't play in that area at all. I saw some names in the chat, and I'm not talking about any one particular person. I am talking about a lot of people. There's a lot of people embodying the go to their channel. If you think I'm talking about someone, though, they might fit into the bucket. So if you go to someone's channel and half of their top 20 videos have someone else's name and picture, they're a React content person, and I don't like that content. That channel's not going to be for me. That's how I can tell if I'm going to like a channel. Or they're likely a cosplay investor if you go into their thing and it's like they don't tell you how much they own of anything. They don't have any spreadsheets that show you what they own. Maybe they have a couple things behind them, but they say top 5 this, top 5 that. They have affiliate links everywhere. They tell you to buy it and they're not buying it. And they tell you it can't go down. It's only going to go up. A lot of those channels existed during 2020, 2021. And some of them are still around today with very high subscriber counts. Tuned in during the red light rant. What a rush. I'm going to try to wrap up by 11. I'm going to try to wrap up in 20 minutes. Hit me with the questions if you have them. I will try to get to them all. Let's Rocket is pretty debt-free. LLC owns my vehicle. Wife's car is paid for as well. So you're the one asking about the Mega Rayquaza? Opportunity cost, like, whatever you think is best. I personally would sell, and I would put it into something else. I would rather have equivalent 151 packs. I would rather have whatever else. 151 piece of ETBs are 475% in the last 12 months, more than any Sword and Shield ETBs booster boxes. Meanwhile, Joey's saying he was right about buying celebrations. Buy within the release window. Oh, there was no question here. Sorry, I thought there was a question. $112 watchers, but only 28 likes. Pump up that like button. Light button, I said. I don't know the context for this, but do you get your own meat? I buy my meat mostly from Walmart, honestly. Walmart and Costco. I actually found a good butcher that I like in Syracuse. It's a hike from here, but more frequently I'm going to start going to that butcher out in Syracuse. My most local butcher is not great. It's literally the same meat as Walmart, just more expensive, less convenient. Ever since I got an electric lawnmower, I honestly don't mind it. I hate engine lawnmowers. I have 1 1/3 acres, so electric is probably not that possible. I'm sure you've answered this plenty of times, but where did you get the artwork in the back? So these are all canvases from the Pokemon Center. No affiliate link, no discount code, but I'm a happy consumer of the Pokemon Center. Everyone talking up cash basis, but I can't imagine not carrying an inventory. My accountant talked me into doing accrual with an end-of-year inventory, and it will save me boatloads. L-Dubs, I am also accrual. I prefer accrual for a handful of reasons. But cash, it all depends on your goals. It all depends on your goals. Cash aligns with most people's goals, at least anecdotally as far as I've seen, consults and all that. But on a more serious note, what do you think about buy it now versus auctions from a seller's perspective? So most of my sales are buy it now, pack sales. We do auctions though for like slabs, singles, all that other stuff. There's pros and cons to each. Neither one is universally better. In a booming market, sometimes you'll sell yourself short doing a buy it now. Some people are so cautious to do an auction. The like last sold will be $4 grand, so they'll do a buy it now at $5 grand, and then that'll sell instantly. And 2 days later, the next auction will be $6 grand. It's like hindsight's always easy. But I generally prefer auctions for singles and slabs, and for the live stream rip and ships, I just like doing buy nows. I got 2 Flashfire booster boxes, but waiting for them to hit 15 grand in 2 years. Way more patient than me. I sold all mine way earlier. I'm gonna try though. At some point, Evolving might hit 15 grand. At some point, Fusion Strike might hit 15 grand. At some point, Destined Rivals might hit 15 grand. I am going to try to have Destined Rivals and Fusion Strike and Evolving Skies. I'm going to try to own these sets through 500 a box, through 1,000 a box, through 5,000, 10,000 a box. We'll see how long I can hold on. They'll probably buck me off before that. Am I scared of clowns, though? I'm not scared of clowns. Someone wants to trade the whole Poncho PSA 10 set for my batch of Evolving Skies booster cases. Would you do it? I generally like Evolving Skies cases more than Ponchos on a 1-for-1 basis, but like, it's just so hard to say. And again, talk versus walk. I own 2 Evolving Skies booster cases. I own 0 Ponchos. So like, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just telling you what I did. Like any day I want to, I could buy Ponchos if I wanted to. Any day I want to, I could sell my Evolving Skies case if I wanted to. I haven't done either. So it's like, talk versus walk. A lot of cosplay investors will just talk pure theory. Talk is cheap. I'm telling you what I'm actually doing. It's not guaranteed to be the best, but it's like, it's what I'm actually doing. So I'm not pumping, I'm not shilling, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Documentary into my business. Walmart for me, man, Dan, step it up. So if I go into my local butcher, they have 0 prime cuts in stock. If I go to my Walmart, they have like 3 different USDA prime stocks in prime cuts in stock. They always have prime ribeye. They always have prime New York strip. Sometimes they have prime filet. But my local butcher, 0. The one in Syracuse, that has some. But Walmart delivery is go to that, ain't go to the store. I don't know if they would make an electric mower that would mow an acre and a third without turning off. Maybe they do, but I feel like it would be more expensive than a gas mower. Trying to catch up more. I do need a red lights off animation. And Grimer said, to Innovate's question of buy now versus auction, if you're the buyer, buy the cheaper price. If you're the seller, it totally depends on the item, cash flow situation, or market situation. Absolutely. There's a lot of nuance into that answer. What's been your biggest L take Pokemon-wise? My biggest L is probably like selling almost everything too soon. I just made a video of things I sold too soon. My biggest L has been like, even though I was investing in Ultra Modern Sealed, I underestimated the true scale of its investability. I had cases of Phantom Forces. I sold my case of Phantom Forces when they were $1,500. Today they're $60,000. So it's like I sold everything too soon in sealed. So that's probably been my biggest L take. It's like tiny W's. I've made tiny W's along the way. Have you talked about your thoughts on the simplified Chinese exclusive art rares this stream or recently? I like them. I'm not investing in the singles. I'm buying some Chinese for the live streams. The Chinese is doing very well in the live streams. I actually met one of my Chinese sources down at Charlotte Collecticon, and I'm going to be bringing more Chinese to the live streams as long as it sells. So initial results are very, very solid. And yeah, I'm going to continue that attrition from there. Dan doesn't know how to say documentary. My Mega Scissor EX from Breakpoint and PSA 10 is ending in an hour on eBay. It's at 900. It's already been spilled and not paid at 1175. I wonder if it'll get paid for this time. Good luck. Hopefully it goes higher. Hopefully it gets paid. But yeah, people definitely shill. People definitely shill, and they suck for doing that. I wish eBay would charge like a cancellation fee, stocking fee, whatever you want to call it. Do you think Hiroshima, Tohoku, and Fukuoka promos are a good hold long term, or just flip into the hype? I got a few of each, but really like the Hiroshima promo art. I might buy some of each. I haven't bought anything yet. I think the pre-orders have been pretty stable price that I've seen. If I buy it, I'll probably sell them pretty quickly. I bought the Chinese 5th anniversary promo, and I bought them for $100 a piece, and I sold them for $400 PSA 10s. Now the PSA 10's like $2,000. Hindsight, it was obvious. I should have held them for longer. Captain Pikachu, same thing. I sold them all way too soon. But you just never know. I'll probably buy them. If decent margins there, I'll flip them, and I won't look back. I won't be sad about it. I might look back and I might make a video about it, but I'm not sad about it. Paldean Fates versus 151 for sealed investing, and then Bubble Mew PSA 10 versus 151 no next Zard PSA 10. Long-term holds, which do you prefer? So I like 151 because I'm buying so much more of it, but I am also buying Paldean Fates too. I have it on my hot buy list. Let me see how much let me see how much. Where am I? Here we are. I have Paldean Fates. I only have like 2,500 Paldean Fates, but we've also only sold. We sold a decent amount. We sold 1,600 in the past month. That's more than I would have thought. But I like 151 a fair bit better. 151 we've actually sold slightly less in the past month. But anyways, I like 151 better for sealed. And then I feel like I like the 151 No Next Zard better. I think Bubble Mew's a better card, but I like the 151 Zard. I know I'm not going to blow up his spot, but he posted on Instagram. Rusty posted on Instagram. So Rusty was buying the 151 Zard for $750 at the con. So I'm not buying it though. So I like 151 better than Paldean Fates, and I am buying it. I like 151 Zard better than I like Bubble Mew, but I'm not buying it. So like that's what I do on this channel. I always like to be very clear on what I like for me and why. I like the Bubble Mew art better, but isn't it like $1,300 last sold? Whereas the Charizard's like $800 last sold, or maybe it's $900 and Rusty's paying $750, $800. But either way, those are my answers. Yeah, people will always have recency bias, confirmation bias on what they know for sure. I got like 700 boxes of Torrential Tides, which is like 50 something cases. I'm gonna have Sky's gonna rip like 10,000 packs for singles on eBay. Singles have gone well. We were over a month late getting singles on eBay for Metazu base set, and they've done well. Not Pokemon, but they've done well. And Torrential Tides, we're gonna do 10,000 packs, and we're gonna have them listed within like a week of release for eBay. So we're gonna be earlier to the game, and hopefully it'll go well. But we'll see. It all comes back to the buckets, always. When you retire from actively doing Pokemon business like ribbon ships, consignments, etc., will you still engage in the hobby and even put sealed back for the future? Probably. There's a decent chance. there's a decent chance that when I'm done actively doing business in Pokemon, there's a decent chance that I am still working in the background to some extent. There's a chance in 10 years, like my kids might go full time into Pokemon. Who knows? Maybe they'll be about it. Maybe they won't be about it. I won't force them to do it if they're not. But with Probstein, with Fanatics, like I could do consignments fairly passively. I could do consignments with not too much of a lift on my end. Hopefully a business like that has some long-term prospects, and then I can utilize my own consignment rates for selling my own plays, selling my own cards. I think I'll always engage to some extent. Why is Dan begging for YouTube beef? I'm just having a chat, answering YouTube questions. I appreciate you, PokePastor. The name is familiar. I'm trying to watch less Pokemon content in general. I watched way too much a year or 2 years ago, but I definitely have seen some of your videos. I'm gonna look at your channel real quick. Shout out to PokePastor TCG. Go check out his channel. Yeah, I started a 6-figure Pokemon card business. You can too. So I like the title. I like the thumbnail. It drew me in. I clicked. I red barred the whole video and I enjoyed it. But I just can't watch. I can't watch all the videos. Yeah, you're pumping them out too. 15 hours ago, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, 4 days ago. Too much for me to watch them all, but keep it up, man. 151 pack price prediction by the end of the year. Sorry, my nose is killing me. 151 pack price prediction by the end of the year. Let's say 16. I saw that. Safari Zone offering $14 store credit for 151. They do that from time to time, and I don't fully understand it. They go like 10% above market. They offer credit, which like you need to spend with them. I don't know how inflated the prices are. Years ago, Safari Zone was the hookup. They were so cheap. You could get stuff super, super cheap. Now, I think they're more like market. But yeah, if you're buying from them anyways, getting $14 store credit is a... If you're selling 151 anyways, and if you're buying from them anyways, that's pretty obvious. That's a pretty obvious play. With respect to React content, it's lazy. They should make their own content. I think a lot of what I do, I'm not prepping it. I'm not editing it. I'm not creating a script. What I do is fairly lazy. Like, I don't think lazy on its own is fair. I just think like React content generally, again, best case, you're reacting to the whole video, but I've seen people react to the whole video and it's like, I'm watching them watch the other guy's video and they're saying that he's saying this, but I don't think he's saying that. Like, that's where ABC, the whole analogy that I make that doesn't really come out right, I don't think. But it's like a game of telephone. You sit in a circle and you whisper in someone's ear and they whisper, like, the message just gets like degraded each time. You're not taking it from the primary source and you're reacting to what you think they said, which oftentimes isn't even what they actually said. People can hear, and I promise you they do. People can watch me make a 10-minute video where I say fairly straightforward things. Some people think I'm pumping. Some people think I'm that, like, people get very different things taken from it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna highlight that one, Grimer, but there's a lot of big operations that are not doing their sales tax nexus stuff. It's wild. Let's see. What are your thoughts on the PSA $49.99 deal, 1,500 and under, with the auction immediately started by PSA afterwards? I'm a bit nervous about not having control of the auction start times. People way over worry about auction start times. Grimer, tell them in chat. So Fanatics, I've sold tens of thousands of cards through Fanatics. A first-time experience happened recently. It was, I forget what the card was. Grimer will let you know in chat. The title of his card was V. The letter V. Like sometimes I'll be in a spreadsheet and I'm trying to Control V or Control Shift V paste something, and I accidentally end up with a cell called V. So I feel like I know how they did it, but his auction went for like what the item should have gone. Like maybe it went a little bit low. I don't even know, Grammar. I didn't even look at the comp. That would be, I'm going to put that in my YouTube video ideas. Talk about the V auction, Grimer's Cardon Fanatics. I've done studies. Year or 2 years ago, I did a study on every Moonbreon that sold in like a 6-month span. And so Grimer says it was a Flareon Trainer Gallery CGC 10. How low did it go? Did it go right where it would have went? He sold it for $28.80 and profited. But what did it go relative to like comps? But anyways, 2 years ago ish, I did a 6-month study on every Umbreon that sold, and I did them by Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day of the week. What was the strongest day, do you think? I've looked up other studies that people did too. Monday. In my small study, in some of the other small studies that I saw, it was Monday was the strongest night to end an auction. When does James end them? Always on Sunday. When does Fanatics end them? Always on Sunday. Probstein, they'll start them anytime. But like, and PSA Vault will start them anytime. People are way too addicted to Sunday. It doesn't need to end Sunday. Grimer said it was probably 10 to 15% low, but he profited. I'm telling you, like you'll see on Monday a Moonbreon will go for 2,800, and then on Sunday one will go for 3,000, and you'll think like, oh my god, one data point, extrapolate into eternity. Every auction has to end Sunday because that one ended better. It doesn't work like that. Go on alt. Look at it. Look at a Pikachu with gray felt hat. Look on alt. Sometimes Wednesday will be the highest. Sometimes Thursday. Sometimes like, and is it the photo? Is it the end day? You'll never know. But like, I promise you, the liquidity we have in the current market, you do not have to worry about the start time, end time. You do not have to worry about any of that stuff. Way too many people worry way too much. So if that's your only holdback, I would full send. Like I have no, being someone who can sign for a platform that only ends on Sundays, I would end on any day. I would not worry about it. When do Sword Shield loose packs catch up to the booster box or at least close the gap? I think they're actively closing the gap some right now, at least some sets. But Mega Evil Mart says never. I think they'll close the gap some in the future, but I don't think they'll ever close it entirely. Or, yeah, like I think if I had to guess, and I could be wrong, 5 years from now, will the percentage of a Fusion Strike pack to a box be higher or lower? I think it'll be generally higher. I think the pack will get closer to the sealed box, but I might be wrong. Because I think what'll happen is Rip and Ships open loose packs. Rip and Ships don't open boxes. So as of right now, every day, Fusion Strike is being opened a lot. But someday, the packs start running out. The boxes, the cases are not having much attrition right now. So the boxes and the cases will only start getting opened again if and once the gap closes. So I truly think Mega Evo Mart says never. I think it will close inevitably. Because another 10 years of Rip and Ships? Again, like, who's opening Fusion Strike boxes right now? Who's opening Fusion Strike cases right now? Almost nobody. But year to date, we've opened... Where's Fusion Strike? Year to date, we've opened 4,895 packs of Fusion Strike. Not one was a sealed box. So I think by necessity, they'll close. Most Scarlet and Violet era booster box cases are 1,500 plus at this point. Do we think this is the standard moving forward, or do they come back to Earth ever again? So I think it's not the standard for future generations, but I think most Scarlet and Violet cases are done and gone. I think SV1 through SV6-7 are done and gone. Over 1,500, nearly forever. Over 1,200 forever at least. But Destined, I don't think it is. Surging might be. Journey, I don't think it is. So, yeah, it depends on where. But some people take me out of context. Again, react content. Dan said every set has been and will be available under MSRP. No, that doesn't mean base set. That doesn't mean Team Rocket returns. That doesn't mean EX Deoxys is going back under MSRP. They have been already. But that does mean Destined. That does mean Prismatic. That does mean Journey. I do think those will go under MSRP again at some point. But they might not either. They might not either. How much over market do packs usually go for on rip and ships? I sell for anywhere between 100 to 110% of market, generally speaking. Oh, Bubble Mew is 1900? Wow. I have 2 distributors. 2.5 distributors, maybe. At what point will you stop buying bundles from Distro? One Distro is making us buy Yu-Gi product to increase our Pokemon numbers. I will never buy Yu-Gi-Oh product. I will never buy sleeves to increase my Pokemon numbers. Why does Ponga not like it when you say Dan is your boss? Because I'm not. It's business to business. He's my independent contractor. Even Charizard V Alt Art from Brilliant Stars and PSA 10, it is starting to skyrocket the very next day after Charlotte. Also had a Gyarados GX title as a Raichu GX and sold for probably the same amount. You're clear about what you say. Most people are discussing apples and compared to oranges. One might be talking MSRP per loose pack and another is referring to sealed boxes. Then they react anyways. I very much appreciate you you saying that. I try to be clear. I try to give context. I try to give disclaimers as to like what I own, what I don't own, why I own them, and why I don't own them. Dan, how much would have to pay to have some brisket steak with you? Do I have to donate a kidney to join the squad the next con? I mean, I can't dole out invitations to other people's houses, but I probably will be, at least for the foreseeable future, I'll probably be bringing a brisket down, hopefully, to most Beerski Paloozas. So if you end up going to New Jersey CollectCon, if you can get into Beerski Palooza, there's a chance you could have some brisket with me. There's not another round of Red Light Dan coming tonight. I'm going to go to bed soon. I'm going to wrap up soon. Prismatic under MSRP will never happen. Trying to bait me into the red lights, but you're not going to get it, East Coast Flipper. I think it will happen. Some people think it won't happen. I have a lot of Prismatic packs. I will make a lot of money if it goes up. I don't think it will, though. Like, I think Prismatic, like 151, like Crown, like every set ever, I think will go under MSRP per loose pack at some point in the next 2 years. Maybe it won't, though. Too many whales and sealed for it to ever go under retail. The Pokemon market got exposed for how much value it truly is. Just like with your modern that you sold quick, I think it will be the same. It could be. It could be for sure. How do you go about figuring out when to rip boxes to sell singles and other TCGs like Magic, Weiss, etc.? Look at the liquidity. Look at the EV of the sealed product versus the singles. It's 2 things, though. Like, one thing that Medizu was years ago, Medizu was plus EV to rip, but the liquidity was low. So like you have to be careful with how much you rip. Look at liquidity, look at EV, look at all the things of sealed. And I did do a red light rant earlier, but I'm open to being wrong. If I'm wrong, if Prismatic never goes under MSRP, I will have a lot of other things that are also doing well. Like if Prismatic never goes under 9, I have thousands of packs. I'll have wished I had more, but 151 will be doing just fine, I think. If Prismatic is doing well, all my loose packs of everything will be doing well. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. With that, I'm going to end the live stream. I appreciate everyone hanging out. I caught up for the first time. I answered every question.